Hey, what's going on YouTube? So I got another Tacoma video for you. We got another product from MESO Customs, and we're going to be installing that today. I'll take you to the tabletop and I'll show you what we got. So this is what comes in the box here. First thing, we got looks like a parts list of all the things that come in the box. And if you don't know, puddle pods go on the bottom of the side mirrors to light up the side of the truck as you walk up to it. It's all plug and play. We got some harnesses here, several of them. These are the pods themselves, which are little LED pucks. And then we got the pieces that go on the side of the mirrors. It says, warning for instructions to trim rib off factory mirror before installing passenger side. See page 11 in guide. And then it's got one of these codes to scan so that you can get the instructions. So, and here's the other one. And we got two wires in here. The longer one's going to be for the passenger side, and the shorter one is going to be for the driver's side. So I'm going to start over here on the passenger side, just because there's less to do over here, and I got to run the wire over to the driver's side. So that's where I'm going to start. There's a bunch of videos on removing the door panel, so I may not cover too much of that, but it does seem pretty straightforward. There's going to be two screws. There's one underneath here, which is underneath the handle. There's one in this pocket here. There's a little piece of carpet underneath, or covering it, which the piece of carpet just pops right out. And I don't even know where I had this, but you can use plastic pry tools. And then there's like a push button pin, and then you'll pull it all off. I guess this is where we're actually going to start right here by prying this up. Just like that. And then you'll unhook these, and that's the first step. All right, so we got the switches removed from here. They just unplug. I got the carpet out of there, which it just flops in there. And there's a cover that goes in here, which just pops right out. It was actually really easy. I was afraid that this was gonna be kind of hard because there's no hooks on it, it's just flat. But I was able to get that in there. You just go in from where the lock is, and it just popped right off, so that was perfect. And I already got the kickboard off from here and the side panel off in here, because I'm gonna have to have access. I have to have access in here, but you have to take this piece off to get to here. And it just pops off. So now we're going to remove the screws for the door panel. And then the clip right here, and you just push in on the center button, and it should just pop right out. Just like that. So here's how the clip works. I was kind of curious about it because in other videos it showed that you pushed it in. Okay, so when you push it in, it releases the tabs on the inside. Then in order to reinstall it, there's basically two clicks. So here's flush, which expands the tabs, and then out, which then again allows them to retract. So when you go to reinstall it, you'll have it like this, you'll push it in, and then you'll push this flush. So with those out, we're ready to pop it loose. and I can get my hand in on this edge. The videos did show to start from here that it's easier, at least for them. You can start at whatever edge you want, but let's pop it off. Can't tell if this, yeah, this comes off first. All right. And then there's these white tabs that actually stayed in there. There's 3 of them. Be careful when you get these tabs back out, because you need to put them back on the other piece. Because if they go inside the door, you'll never get them back. Which is probably exactly what I'm gonna do. Well, I didn't lose any on this side, but I probably will on the driver's. I am reinstalling them back on the panel so that they're ready to go and I don't lose them. So now this is completely loose. It lifts up, and now there's 2 cables for the door handle and the lock. I'm not going to show you this part. There's other videos that can show you better than I can. And there's one video that I watched that was really good that showed the removal of the door panel. And I will be sure to leave a link to his video in the description. So now from here, we got to unhook the mirror. And it looks like there's some tape over these holes. Yep. It's just, I couldn't tell if it was clear or if it was black. Yep, there's some little black stickers that are covering these holes. And inside there are nuts that you'll have to get to. There's gonna be 3 of them, and then we can get the mirror off. Again, be careful with the nuts. All right, all 3 nuts are off, so we should be able to get the mirror off. And I should have rolled the windows down first. There we go. Now we got the mirror off. So the puddle pods are going to be going right there. This piece right here is the piece that's going to be replaced. So this is what it looks like when you pop this piece off. Goes like, it's on there like that, and you pop it off. It's just held in with a couple of tabs, and it comes right off. So this one is got the warning sticker on there to trim the inside of it. So I'm guessing this is the one that goes on the side, because this is the side that you're supposed to trim a little bit according to the instructions. But I don't know, mine might clear. I'll play with it a little bit and see what we gotta do. So the instructions say for the passenger side, I don't know why it's just the passenger side, but there's like this little tab right in here to cut with like a pair of dikes or a Dremel or whatever you got. That's in order to clear the puddle pod. So that's what we're gonna do. So here's something I found out after getting it back together. I had to take it apart again. You need to push the small piece going to the puddle pod through this grommet. this piece is not going to fit. So I tried to do it the other way and tried pushing it that way, and it wouldn't work. So I had to take it back apart and push it this way. Really, you don't even need to push both of them through. I don't know what this second one is for. The instructions don't reference it, so I don't know what it's for. And so this is what it looks like installed into the mirror. This is the bottom side. This will be pointing down. So let's go get it back in the truck. So now that the mirror is reinstalled, we got to run the cord. There are two different heads here. The plugs are different, so only one of them plugs into here. And we got to run it inside the door, and we got to run it through this rubber boot here. So I get the feeling that this is actually going to be the hardest part of the entire install, is running them inside the door panel and through these rubber boots. The instructions help with it. The wires that run through this boot are plugged in right here. It says to unplug them to make it easier so that you can actually have some slack to work with. Otherwise, you won't be able to work with the wires. So I did get the wire run through this boot here, and I found that it was easier to push from the inside, or I guess from the outside in, because this plug is a little bit smaller, and the way that this boot is shaped, I found that it was easier to go from the door side to the inside of the truck. So now I just got to run it the rest of the way. I got to go inside the door here and then come out the same as this wire right here, because this one plugs right here, and I guess I can actually plug that back in and it'll plug in here. All right, so we got the cord run through the inside of the door, coming up. It comes out right here. I taped all this up because this is that extra cord, so I just taped it down to itself. And one of the extra things that I did is I did put a few zip ties on here. Since the door kind of comes close to the wires, I didn't want it to be shifting and get caught on it, so I just zip tied it to the wires that run there as well. I got this taped up, and I'm ready to push it back into the body of the truck. Okay, so I got the door panel all back together. Everything's hooked back up. The cables are there. The cover's back on. This cover's back on. And the wires run to the inside of the cab. I got to run this cord over to the driver's side. And that entails just running up in there. And I feel like it's going to be time consuming just because I'm really picky and want it to be run a specific route. Hopefully I won't have to take anything apart in order to run it. Hopefully I can find a path that I can run it easily. So that's what we're going to do now. So this is on the driver's side, and I'm supposed to pull these wires out the side of the truck, but it has all of these wires that are tapped into there. I don't know what they are or what they go to, but it's basically this bundle of wires right here, and they tap into the ones that go into the door. So I'm not going to be able to pull this whole thing out, so I have a feeling that this side is going to be extremely difficult. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, the other stuff keeps going easy. Like I got this wire fished through the passenger side. That went fairly easy. But then I run into stuff like this, and I'm like, nope, this one's going to be the hard one. So far, I haven't ran into anything that was terribly difficult, so hopefully this will go smoother than what it looks like it will. So I got the wire run through the boot on the driver's side. And I did the same thing over here. I secured it with some zip ties, and I was really shocked. I was wrong again, and it actually wasn't difficult. It was tedious, but not difficult. A little challenging to get into the tight spaces, but yeah, I was able to get enough slack. I didn't pull it all the way out, but I had to work in that tiny little space there, but it actually wasn't too bad. Now I got to run the two wires up to the A-pillar and connect them there, and we're just about done. So this is the clip that it ties into. The A-pillar cover is off. It's just one 10 millimeter bolt, and I think there might be a clip. And so we gotta disconnect this right here. And we may have to remove one of these tie downs in order to get enough slack, because this is the piece that we got to fit in. Okay, so here's what I did. This is the OEM clip right here, the gray one, and it's got this white clip that was in the side of the truck. So I took that off from the OEM plug, and now I'm going to put it on the one from MESO and see if that works, because it should drop this whole thing down, because otherwise these two connectors were lining up right here. And with this metal tab in the way, I did not like that. So what I'm gonna try and do is see if this will work. And then all of this wire will be in the same place that it was before. It's just this one will be pushed down a little bit. And it feels like that should work just fine. So I gotta say, when I'm working down here in the floorboard area, it's really handy to be sitting on my running boards. This is the Amp Research running boards, and they stick out enough that I can sit on them while working in the floorboard area. So the A-pillar's put back together. I got the wires running there. And so after doing this whole installation, I must say, running the wires from the floorboard area up to the A-pillar area was definitely the most difficult part for me. Now that could be because I have air lines running up there for my air gauges, so the spot is a little bit tighter than most people's. Well, so here's where we're at. After getting this whole thing installed, it has messed with my truck. So when I close the door, as you can see right now, it says no key detected. So when I close the door, I think it thinks the ignition's on or something like that. It says no key detected. I didn't actually close the door. I'm just pushing the button with my finger. But that's what happens, and it doesn't allow me to lock it. So I am now going to disconnect that pigtail and just connect it back to OEM. Okay, now with the pigtail hanging right there, I will push the button as if I was closing the door. Works just fine. Lock it. All right. Now I will see if I can reach over and grab the handles if I was going to open it normally. Yep. And hit the spot with my finger to lock it. Unlock. Yep. All that works. After even disconnecting the battery to try and reset, it didn't help. This is the problem. Well, after spending a good deal of the afternoon trying to get this installed, I was really excited. It looks good when it's on. But right now, I'm not gonna keep it hooked up because of the problem that it's causing to my truck. I'm gonna contact MESO Customs to see what they wanna do about it. I may have to rip the whole thing out and send it back to them. But right now, it doesn't work. And it's kind of frustrating because it's 108 degrees outside today. Even with my little portable swamp cooler, it's still pretty warm in the garage, so it sucks. Anyway, hopefully I can give an update for you after I hear from MESO. Other than that, right now, I don't have a finished product to show you. So keep an eye out for an update video, and I will let you know what to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more I Can Do It Myself videos.